Welcome back to another T Talk. This week, you've got a trio of treats. I'm joined by Con and Darren. You're welcome. The reason there's three of us is we're tackling a big topic today that I think is going to be super interesting. I am really intrigued as to where this is going to go. We're talking AI. Specifically, is it a help or a hindrance? So come on, chaps, right off the bat, what do we think? Do we think AI help or hindrance? What do we think?
I think it's a help.
Yeah? What do you think?
I think it's a hindrance in some circumstances.
Oh.
And I think it depends. I'm gonna break precedent and say it depends.
You must choose.
Yeah, it helps. It helps. It definitely helps in moderation. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say. So, all right. So, what do we think? Let's kick us off with the positive. So, what do we think are the benefits? And I should say the reason, or one of the reasons we were keen to do this as a trio is the different perspectives. Because I think what we could do is you've got the paid and the sort of the more technical stuff, and then obviously all things creative from yourself. So I think between the two of you, very different perspectives, completely different use cases for how you would use AI, where it features and so on, which is why I think this is going to be quite interesting. So let the fireworks commence. But right, so kick us off then. What do we think are the benefits of AI? And where is it fitting into what you're doing, and the pros for it, and then we'll come to you after. Where do you think that it's fitting for you in terms of the pros for you?
I think a lot of people will think that AI is just one of those tools which is going to make your life easier, and it's going to make everything faster, and it's going to just in general help you to streamline. Well, it is true. It is true. However.
Don't break the dream, sure. It's going to be easier, right? It's just going to go a whole lot easier, surely.
And it is, to an extent. If you are not necessarily sophisticated with the AI or the art of using AI, then essentially it's going to make your life a living nightmare. Because the problem with AI is that AI is only as good as you are making it. It's only as good as the data you feed it. So the more you use AI, or the higher your reliance on AI is, the less involved you become, which means that, if you use a tool, it's only as good as its operator.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's almost a skill within using AI so that you don't have to use your other skills. But you're right. I think if you don't know how to operate AI, particularly in its current stages now, where it still requires a lot of user interaction, then you're going to get some really bad results. And
absolutely.
Ultimately, it's going to...
You mean we can't just go on ChatGPT and say, can you run my business for me?
Yeah.
Can you write my business plan? Can you audit this account? Can you create my videos? I don't think we're quite at that level. No. I think you've got to put, as you say, good in to get out. I think that's
Yeah, I mean, you did mention something very interesting about auditing accounts, and there is a number of tools out there that can actually do it for you. However, it's still very much to do with the quality of data you're going to input.
And I mean, because that's it. The AI, the tools that we've used when we're looking at Google Ads accounts, all of that stuff, we've been leveraging and using forms of AI for years.
Absolutely.
And we've always advocated the use of AI to quicken the pace and can help and can shine a light on different things, but it's never going. You just can't beat the human element. Human element, because you need that context. You need that. Yeah. It's that context, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's kind of easy to spot AI at the moment.
It is.
There are some things, I do have some things I'm going to show you, which you might then question that. Okay. And you might start to think that AI is getting to the stage where we kind of can't tell the difference, which is kind of amazing and scary at the same time. But I think, as you're saying, at the moment, without that human touch, it's just lacking. Often you see when ChatGPT has written something, there are key defining elements that make you go, nobody wrote that.
It kind of comes out a little bit generic and a little bit vanilla.
Incredibly, yes.
Doesn't it? I think you just run the risk of that. And I think that brings on to the... So what are... As AI exists now, and it's... I mean, by the time we publish this T-Talk, it's going to evolve even more, right? The pace is crazy. We can't keep up with it. So when it comes to the challenges and the current limitations, what are you seeing? What are you seeing when it comes to... Because you're probably doing... If I think of what we're doing day to day here at Evergreen, you're probably leveraging more AI than maybe we are.
Yeah.
I use it probably on a daily basis in some form or another, whether it's to do with things like writing copy, or to do with the more menial parts of video editing. And those things are great, but I have had to learn the way of speaking to it. I mean, some of the challenges that you can face if you're trying to use AI like ChatGPT to write copy is, like, as you say, it's vanilla, it's very vague. Sometimes ChatGPT has a tendency to be overly dramatic. It says things like, in the realm of the quest for, and it's just a bit, the right word here is actually cringe. And I use that specifically because I actually saw a video recently where they said, if you reply to a ChatGPT prompt and say, this is cringe, then it will know exactly what that means. And it's actually the best way to get it to fix that. So you've got to learn these things. You've got to learn what to say. You've got to learn the ways to say it. I came up with a group of commands, which is basically getting you to give it a prompt, but then it rates your prompt. And if the prompt is any less than an 8 out of 10, it rewrites the prompt for you and then asks itself that prompt.
Wow.
So then you're giving it the right thing. So you're basically using AI to help you be better at prompting AI. And it's that sort of stuff that turns it into a useful tool.
Yes,
But if you don't know how to do that, you're not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, and conversely, I would say that on the paid side, especially with the with Performance Max campaigns and the Gemini engine that is now slowly being rolled out across it, what we are seeing is the fact that AI is an absolute moron, because what it does, you just put together...
Hot takes.
There's the tagline for this T Talk. It's an absolute moron.
Yes, because what it does, it takes your landing page for your campaign, and then it starts putting very generic copy, just plucked together from different bits and pieces that it actually read or through this very quick scheme of the page. It is a context. And then if I was to expect from AI that it's going to write a good sales copy for that particular ad, I would be as much of a moron as the AI is, because I will never ever, put my client's business into AI's hands, knowing that AI is most certainly not going to bring the results that my team will.
That's the thing. I mean, sometimes AI, as clever as it is, can be so boldly wrong. That it will make you believe it's right. And it's so wrong, but if you don't know, you're not going to see it.
I'll tell you where I think AI is really coming into mind, where we're seeing it and leveraging it and finding it super powerful, is in the personalization.
Yes.
Because it can just do that, and that's where I think it's really interesting from a marketing perspective, from a brand perspective, in terms of how you can leverage the different tools and different media and the different forms of marketing messaging to be able to put that personalization. I mean, we were talking about this when we were driving to London the other day. There's so many ways. I think the role of personalization and even within the customization of the marketing messages, and that for me is really interesting. What do you guys think? And
the beauty of it is that actually the data that it can just churn and go through in nanoseconds is just immense, because the entire optimization and audience building can be then almost given to AI, and AI will just look at the behaviors, at the interests, at the websites and history and cookies and all that good stuff, and then it will be able to just deliver an ad or a piece of content to a person, exactly what they would expect to see. And I think going forward, as the AI evolves and as we are being more and more involved in it and feed it more data, it's going to get to the point where a ad is going to be as personalized, as deep as your ethnicity, your cultural background, the language you speak.
Completely tailored, isn't it?
It will completely tailor it,
If the world over, really, brands, marketers are all exploring AI, some more than others. Everyone's playing with it right now. Everyone's figuring it out because it's new. It's a shiny new thing that we're all kind of, how does that work? And let's have it. And some of us have got better than others at using it. For some of us, it plays more of a role than others. But if you're a brand, if you're a marketer, if you're someone watching this T Talk, what are some of the kind of the considerations that we've gone through, or that we would advise others, that these things to just be aware of this, and just what are some of the considerations? What do you think?
I would say you've got to make sure that you're not doing someone else a disservice. And what I mean by that is there are big brands out there who are trying to get away with using AI art and not having that disclaimer that they're using AI art.
Yeah.
They're trying to fake real people's work and trying to get away with not paying people to do it. Okay, and I think that's something from an ethical point of view that you need to consider, that yes, of course, if you are a startup and you just don't have the budget for this artwork, then maybe AI art is something for you. I know that AI art has a lot of sort of hate towards it, but I do think it has its place.
And I think that just comes from a place of people are scared that it's going to take their jobs, and I think it's for marketers. But you have the ethical standpoint on just don't do a disservice to is absolutely holds credit. And I think the other thing that we're seeing is with AI. In fact, before we go on to that, what are your thoughts on that whole kind of the considerations from the paid media side? What do you think the considerations? If you're a marketer and you're doing paid media, be it in-house or whatever, what are some of the things that you think you should consider or should be mindful of when thinking, how much am I going to rely on AI?
Well, so any good marketer will immerse themselves into the business of the client. So essentially, you're just going to position yourself as an extension of the business that you are working with. So AI will not give you that. AI will not get to the nitty-gritty of your commercials. It will not understand the numbers. It will just understand what you give it, but then you need to really vet yourself in respect of what you are feeding the AI.
It's why we don't rely. So we have tools that can quicken the pace in terms of that can help with auditing and research, but we would never wholesale. We never would wholesale rely on any form of tool, SaaS platform, tech product that to wholesale tell us this is what you need to do on this account. These are the recommendations to follow to implement this change. And there are tools out there. For Google Ads, all of these. What you can do, you need to do this change. You need to make this recommendation. You need to implement this. But it's doing it on the limited information it has within from the data that you can see, not with the wider context
Precisely.
of the business plan or the overall goal.
And the point here being that actually that data or that information is very limited to AI and its comprehension. So it's very contextual.
Yeah, so ultimately, I guess the consideration is you have to still be willing to do some of the work.
You do. That really very, very much brings us to the old horse and cart being replaced by the car. The cars have become commonplace, but we have come in to actually understand how to fix them.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah, and that's why we've seen it so many times when different new innovations happen. It's going to put everyone out of a job, and it's going to create changing. And actually, my personal belief, and I think we're agreed on this, that it's not going to fundamentally make wholesale changes. It's just going to make improvements, efficiencies, and things are just going to evolve. But things are forever evolving.
Well, the way I like to see it is AI is not going to replace marketers. Marketers who use AI will replace those who don't.
Precisely.
There you go. Yeah, that's
exactly it.
Nice to think about. So let's move on to talking about, from a paid perspective specifically, where I think AI, again, as well as that personalization piece, the other part of it that's particularly powerful is in the customer segmentation.
It is, yes.
Just expand on that.
Yes. So
what's that about?
On this one, it's just very well, clearly AI has got much better capabilities to actually go through a lot of data, much better than me or whoever else. And within split seconds, it's able to actually segment the data around the parameters that we're going to feed it. So for example, if I need to find suddenly within my data set, if I need to find a group of people who are going to be in the age between 18 to 24 and they will be interested in buying a garden ornaments, instead of me just trying to use gazillions of filters in Excel, I can just quickly feed that to AI and within seconds, it will just give me the answer. And it's not just that, it will, on the trot, it will just carry on learning on the basis of the behavior of people who are visiting the website, and it will keep adding to that list. So I won't have to do that action ever again. I just give it parameters, and then AI is constantly on the lookout to find the best people or to find the best sort of eyeballs to match my ad with.
It's those kind of menial tasks that are going to take. So if it's going to take you a day to do that, but AI can do it in 10 minutes, why wouldn't you let
Precisely that.
Yes. You can feed it the parameters, the rules, These are, slice and dice the data. why wouldn't you leverage it to do that? Because then you feed it in, you get the information back out, and then it's back to the human element to kind of interpret that and then take the bits that you want from it to then implement.
And just with that very quickly, this in itself really proves how important and invaluable human element is to it. Because the thing is that AI will be running on limited data. So at some point, AI will run out of that data. And just freshness of that data is what's going to carry on that being perpetuated.
So I want to move on, Darren, to talk to you about, from a creative standpoint, how are you seeing, predicting, what's going on in the sort of the creative world when it comes to how it's enhancing the user experience?
Wow, I'm glad you asked.
Well, it's almost it was scripted.
Because I brought some things with me today. So,
go on.
I talked to you a little bit about some things in the past to do with AI video.
Yes, you have.
I spoke to you a little bit about Will Smith eating spaghetti and The Rock eating rocks.
And I genuinely haven't seen this. This is amazing. This is actually, I haven't seen any of
I've got 3 things to show you.
Okay.
So, first of all, here we have, and I'll put this on screen so people can see it. So this was a year ago.
Okay.
This is what AI video could do.
Yeah.
This is Will Smith eating spaghetti.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
It's a classic. I loved it so much. When I saw it for the first time, I just thought, wow, that's cursed.
We won't curse our eyes with that any longer.
I don't even know what to say.
And then,
That's actually the first time I've ever seen that.
possibly worse, is The Rock eating rocks.
What?
So, again, pretty cursed.
Just a bit. Oh my lord.
I mean, wow. Okay.
Poor Rock.
Cut to today.
Okay.
A year later, just a year in difference, and you have things like OpenAI who do ChatGPT, and they've introduced their new text-to-video model, which is called Sora, and it's got things like this.
That's amazing.
That's AI. Another example, this.
Yes, this is phenomenal. In fact, there are mobile apps now as well.
So this is what I was saying before about whether or not you can tell anymore, because you kind of can't.
Which is why the paid platforms are now increasingly talking about this. You've got to disclaim that
you have to disclaim.
This is
yes,
AI, this is to force that, and they will ironically use AI to detect AI, and they're already doing it, and we're seeing that's happening in the sort of the press, the news, in the everything we read. So
I have one more thing to show you, and this is I've been excited to show you this all day. So over the weekend, I discovered a new AI tool. It's called Udio, and it creates music, but it creates it using a prompt which is similar to ChatGPT, which means that you can ask it to do whatever you like.
Right.
So I gave it the prompt to write me a song about 3 men who are called the Evergreen Boys. And
it's going to be terrible.
This is the song. It's only a 30-second snippet, but here we go.
Hey, they're standing tall, they're the trio, Evergreen Boys, watch their shadows blend. With the agency, they'll defend, make it brighter, they keep it tighter. Together, they stand united, Evergreen
Man,
I'm digging it, mate. I mean, honestly, I'll be vibing to it all day long now. Brilliant. We're done.
We've got our new theme tune for T.E.A Talks.
Yes. Wow, that'll be the next one. That'll be the next one.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Better than I thought it would be.
It's really surprising.
Boys, blimey. There's a hashtag.
Oh, brilliant.
That is amazing.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
I'm going to do a proper Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah.
On that terrible bombshell, we're going to end this episode of T.E.A Talks. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye.